There's life after lockdown as Wuhan, China returns to some kind of normal. This is the InsideEdition.com coronavirus news for April 8, 2020. The coronavirus originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan, and at least 3,000 people in the region died from COVID-19. But now, as the number of cases falls, people are getting back to their regular lives. A massive light show marked the end of the city's 11-week lockdown. People are now free to travel to and from the city. Roads were open to traffic. Passengers were seen boarding a train. And air travelers are now able to enter and leave Wuhan. Workers are back at the city's Honda factory. A plant representative said they're back to pre-virus production levels. They're encouraging signs for those cities and countries still grappling with the disease. There are approximately 400,000 COVID-19 cases in the U.S., and the death toll from the disease in New York has now exceeded that of the 9/11 attacks. Meanwhile, some people in New York continue to defy calls to stay at home and continue to ignore social distancing guidelines. Here's more coronavirus coverage from the InsideEdition.com team. First, Sal Bono.
There are many benefits to self-quarantine and isolation. The obvious being is that it limits your ability to contract coronavirus and spread it to others. The other is that our air is getting cleaner. That's right, our air. Normally polluted cities like Los Angeles, New York City, Delhi, India are recording some of the cleanest air they've had in decades, according to the IQ Air Live Index quality. The city of Los Angeles, which normally has a cloud of smog hanging over it, is now perfectly clean and clear. It's so clean that you can actually see the mountains behind the skyline. Aside from the individual benefits of self-quarantining and isolation, our environment is getting better, our air is getting cleaner. So, play by the rules. Stay home. Now, here's Lee Sheps with the latest story.
Now, this is a story I'm jazzed to tell you about. 18-year-old Samson from Brooklyn, he was outside practicing his trombone for college while his parents were outside gardening when all of a sudden, someone from across the street comes out of his home and starts performing with him. 6 feet apart, of course, on two opposite sidewalks, there is jazz musician Brian Newman, you know, the band leader for Lady Gaga's residency in Las Vegas. So the two are there playing their songs for 30 minutes. I reunited both of them because Samson knew that Brian lived in the neighborhood, but the two had never met. That story coming up tomorrow on InsideEdition.com. Now let's send it over to Kaylin.
I'm reporting about how one street artist is using messages of hope and love to brighten up streets that are vacant because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I spoke with artist Ruben Rojas, based in Los Angeles and part of Beautify Earth. He's been painting murals around his neighborhood with signs of hope and love for his neighbors. Some of his slogans include, "You can't quarantine love," and "Love is standing 6 feet apart," in a nod to social distancing guidelines. Ruben is hoping that these bright, colorful messages will cover up some of those boarded storefronts and bring a little bit of light and hope to all of the people who see them.
For more on the coronavirus pandemic, be sure to visit InsideEdition.com.